close and personal here, and I'm going to do a little bit of drawing for you. And the drawing here is going to kind of give you an idea of what we look for in human beings. And I just had this conversation with my brother-in-law, and what you see in a human, right? Like there's the coach's eye or whatever you see. You look at someone, you're like, fuck, dude, they're hunchback, or their belly just sticks out, or their lower back is super swayed back, or their head's super forward, or their head's super back, or whatever the case might be, right? There's some basic laws of physics that stand in point, and I want to kind of highlight that for you, and what you want to think about before you start smashing and rolling out and thinking that you can stretch your brains out. So this was brought up by Coach Pat Davidson. Dr. Pat Davidson is a good friend of mine, and when he said this, it really blew my mind. So you always want to think about gravity is kind of the main thing that you're fighting as a human being here on Earth, and that's the first thing we're going to talk about here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw this dotted line all the way down the wall here, and I'm going to draw a human facing that way. So the first thing when you see a human is you see a bunch of curvatures, right? So if he's facing that way, his eyeballs are this way, and they're looking that way. So the first thing you see with a human is you see his head. All right? That's a kyphotic position here. And then you see his neck. So the neck is a lordotic, right? That's that inner curve. And then we have their upper back, which is kyphotic. That's where the ribs sit. Then we have the lower back, which is lordotic. Then we have that ass, hopefully they have an ass, kyphotic. And then we have right underneath that ass, before as the hamstring attaches, lordotic. Then we have the hamstring, kyphotic. Then we have the back of the knee, lordotic. Then we have the calf muscle, kyphotic. Then we have the Achilles, kyphotic. Then we have the heel. Then we have the arch of the foot. Then we have the pad of the foot. Then we have the arch underneath the toe. Then we have the pad of the toe. Right? This is a human being. Ideally, this take place. If one curve is off, right? Say your head is a little bit more forward, and then this curve comes this way. Well, guess what? This curve might have to come a little bit further. What if this curve is a little more straight, then this one has to come a little bit further. So whenever we start to think about, all right, this guy's posture's off, or this guy's thing is off, whatever the case you're talking about, you want to know that you're a pretty well balanced being. And this balance is most likely coming from a way of you managing pressures. And the way you manage pressures is the way your body's kind of holding together. So if this thing makes sense to you, think about it some more, and know how important is program design, how important it is to kind of keep your shit together. Because if one of these is off, I'll tell you what, your arm's not going to move the same way as if it wasn't off. And if it does, you're making up ground somewhere else. If one of these is off, your leg's not going to raise as high as it wouldn't if it wasn't off. So this is, for me, was one of the first crucial moments that I came through with training. And once you realize this, you start to understand how important structural and the way your skeleton is positioned in your body to the training. Now, before structure, we deal with something else, right? The way you're managing pressures, which is why probably the structure is the way it is. So this is also why a good program is very important for you. So if this video here sparks your interest, keep an eye out for more of my videos. If you want to reach out to me, I'm Coach Ledesma on the Instagram or Facebook. So appreciate you guys giving a look at this, and catch you guys in the replay.